Hi, in this video we're going to go over backing your horse properly. A couple things I want to point out in proper backing. You'd like to have your horse's feet, when he backs, he should be backing in a trotting action. This means that his right front and his left hind are moving together. His left front and his right hind are moving together. So similar to backing on the diagonal. Now, a couple things to point out here. When we do back our horse, teach our horse to back, we'd like him to back straight. So we should have some control of our horse's hindquarters. We should be able to move our hindquarters one way or the other. And we'd also like to be able to move our front feet to one side using the shoulder to step over. That's a little better. Or to maybe help out get that front over this way. So these are little exercises you'll be working on to get better as you go along. But they're very useful in keeping your horse straight. Today, I'm kind of fortunate in that I have a big mirror here I can use, so I can really check to see if I'm backing up straight or not. When we're backing up free and you don't have a mirror to look at, you might think of lining up a couple of objects in front of you. You might have a couple of trees, or you might have a post on your arena and a telephone pole, a power pole out there somewhere. And think of that like if you've shot a rifle, you sight up your rear sight with your front sight with your eyeball. Well, you and your horse are kind of the eyeball, and you want to keep that sight lined up. So think of that as you're asking your horse to back up straight. The other thing we want to look at is thinking about having your horse being soft in order to back up, or light. We don't want our horse pulling on the bit at all. But we do use our hands and the bit to signal our horse. Another thing we're going to do to signal our horse for backing is we're going to slightly bring our balance back. I don't mean to lean back, but just bring our balance back here. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to lift our legs away from his side, just slightly. You shouldn't be able to see it. For the sake of the video, I'm going to exaggerate this, but get your legs off the side of your horse so there's no weight on his sides. That is a signal we use to ask our horse to begin backing up once he is soft. If he isn't soft, this isn't going to work too well for you. So that's very important to have your horse soft. Like him looking here straight if he could. All right. When I do go to back him, I'm going to reward, especially a horse that is just learning this, or if you're just learning this, I'm going to reward for lightness. I'm also going to reward for my horse backing. I may not get both together at first. I will be willing to reward either one of these, and eventually I want light backing or soft backing together. The time will come when I only reward the two together. In the beginning, I want to teach it, break it down. One or the other is fine. Now, once I am backing, the way I'm going to release my horse, if he's just learning this, I might really release these reins, both reins, and let him soak on what I was asking him to do. What I'm going to be doing with this horse when I back him up, I might ask for that one step just to show you how I would release, but then I'm going to be more particular, and I'm going to ask him to continue backing straight as possible. I have a mirror here, so I'm going to turn to the side so I can see my mirror, see how straight I am, and you can have a side view of what the feet look like and what I look like here. So backing is going to be a release. I'm going to turn to the side now and show you, before I back him, how I'm going to release with my hands. This I'll show you a little exaggerated, and I want you to get to where this is really subtle for you. But my hands, I think of being connected to his front feet. I'm going to release with both hands. As a front foot goes to the ground, you're going to see me release and come right back up to support. Release, support, release, support. The support keeps your horse moving backwards. The release rewards him for moving his feet. That's the way I like to look at it. That's the way I think about it. So once we do this, I'm going to come back and show you a little more advanced way of releasing your feet, where you do it with one hand and then the other. Please note here that as I bring my hands down to release, they come immediately back up. They don't go down here and then back up, and down here and back up. We see this a lot, so I want to point that out so you kind of have a feel for that. You'll probably catch yourself doing that I did in the beginning. So again, it's almost a bump down, as if you were beating a drum. It's just real quick, down and back up. In the beginning, you're going to be a little more subtle about that. All right, so I'm going to gather up my reins here, build my coil in my left hand. I'm going to ask my horse to be light. A couple things I'm looking for. I'd like his poll higher than his withers, and I'd like his nose ahead of the vertical. If his nose is not ahead of the vertical, I might just wait for him to lift it up like that, right there. I would like my hands to be able to be in a lower position when I do this, but I want my horse correct. So I ask him to be light. Now, if you watch my posture, I'm going to just balance back a little bit and take my legs off and release. That's how I might start teaching my horse to release. You notice when I did release, he stopped, which in this case he should. Now, he's a little better at backing than that, a little further along, so I'm going to go ahead and gather up, ask him to be soft again. Notice, even though I'm picking up on these reins, he's not even trying or attempting to back up until I signal him with my balance and my legs. Here we go. Now I'm going to release with both hands towards his feet. I want to shorten those reins up a little bit. Again, release, right, left, right. He's crooked, so I straighten out his hindquarters there. He's straight, release, release, release. Notice he's light and soft here. I want him straight, soft when I release, and I'm done right there. So I'll go ahead and pitch those reins to him. You don't have to pitch them quite that much, but I do that so you can see that I really want to release him and reward him for that effort, for that try. So that was pretty good. Now we're going to ride again forward. Ask him to be light again here, and I'm going to ride him forward. We're going to go right back to that mirror up here. I'll quiet my seat here and ask him to stop. Ask him to be soft. Ask him again to be soft. Now this time, if you can see, and I'll exaggerate my hands a little bit so you can see how I might start doing this by releasing my hands towards his feet. When we get closer to the other wall, I'm going to be a lot more subtle with my hands. And you probably won't even see them release. But he will feel it, or he won't be backing for me properly. Again, left, right, left. Softer, right, left, straighter. There, that feels good. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Let him stop there. So that was pretty nice too. So just a few pointers for you to think about, work on this, and get this working for you really well. Remember, you want your horse soft, light to the bit, light to your hands, and you'd like him backing properly with his feet, using the diagonals. Release, 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 release. Soft, straight. That looked pretty good to me. Hope this helps you out, and hope you enjoyed this video.